If you could do one thing immediately that would alter the way you show up in the world, what would that be? It is not louder voice or better posture. It is the quiet consent you make with yourself every morning. I am willing to try. That sentence is easy, gentle, obstinate, and it has a strange sort of power. It demands less of you than perfection and more than passivity. Stand behind that line with me as we make our way through this together. I recall standing before a room that seemed like an ocean of judgment. I had prepared and I had notes, and still my hands trembled. For years, I allowed fear to tell a story about who I am. Timid, uncertain, not enough. Then I began doing little things differently. I ceased to think of confidence as a trophy to be won and started thinking of it as a muscle to employ. The first day, I talked with that honest, quiet agreement. I tripped over words and made fun of myself and saw the world did not implode. Someone smiled. Someone asked a question. The experience was not evidence that I was without fear, only evidence that I could endure discomfort and still learn. Stoic philosophers discussed what we can control and what we cannot. That can come across as cold or distant, but beneath is a warm, useful guidance. Attention matters. You can't dictate that someone will applaud you, but you can dictate how much attention you place on preparation, on practice, and on the little acts of bravery that you decide. Confidence accumulates where attention accumulates. Attention to habit, to rehearsal, to the tiny evidences that you can arrive and endure builds a foundation that gets deeper with time. At its core, confidence is not a lack of doubt. Doubt is the human condition. Confidence is the practice of reconciling with doubt and taking action anyway. Consider a child learning to ride a bike. They wobble, they fall, they get up. There is laughter, frustration, and stubborn curiosity. There is play in that development. Treat your adult learning the way you treated that child. Wonder before judgments. Mix seriousness with playfulness. Be serious about your goals and lighthearted about your fears. You can be earnest and goofy for the same thing. There is useful work to be done. Begin small and build up. Establish a micro goal that challenges you a bit. 5 more minutes of practice, a call you've been putting off, a brief comment in a meeting. Acknowledge the try and note the outcome without moral judgment. Mistakes are uncooked data. Praise effort over achievement. When you reward effort, you establish a feedback loop that values learning over perfection. Create a list of small successes and refer to it when the inner critic gets too noisy. Confidence also develops from value clarity. When you know what you believe and choices become easier. That knowing liberates you from requiring approval for each step. Rather than asking, will they like me? Ask, does this action reflect who I want to be? Answers will occasionally be untidy, but they will be more consistent. Alignment practice is similar to tuning up an instrument. There is patience, a fine ear for slight adjustments, and a willingness to strike off notes in the cause of learning. There is also a moral aspect of confidence. Real confidence is soft, not brittle. It allows space for other human beings to be right, to disagree, and to surprise you. Arrogance craves ongoing vindication. Confidence releases more often. That release makes it easier to listen, to adapt, and to remain curious. Curiosity keeps confidence vibrant and agile for whatever's next. Now envision making those little day-to-day experiments into a habit that endures. Begin with remaking your mornings as mini laboratories. Nothing over the top. A quick stretch of mantra you say that anchors you, and a quick visualization of one tiny triumph. The idea is repetition. Confidence builds in the same way interest builds in a savings account. Small acts repeated become proof that you are someone who keeps your commitments. There is an interior architecture to this piece of work. The 3 columns I keep coming back to are habit, narrative, and relationship. Habit builds competence. Competence makes decisions feel less like a dramatic test and more like ordinary work. Narrative constructs meaning. The story you tell about yourself tints every possible tomorrow. If your inner story is forgiving, curious, generous, you will take more risks. If it is punitive and absolute, you will hide. Rewrite your history with small corrections instead of waiting for an epic overhaul. Relationships serve as mirrors and practice grounds. Confidence is social in nature. It is constructed not in solitude, but in the push and pull of actual connections. Ask for honest criticism and learn to take it without falling apart. Give it back with compassion. When you make room for others to step forward, you are rehearsing your own bravery. Vulnerability as a skill is developed when you rehearse it. Say something out loud before it feels complete. Ask a question in a space where you might feel vulnerable. Each of those actions is a quiet rehearsal for larger things. If you desire a step-by-step process, try this easy sequence for some weeks. Step 1. Choose one small stretch goal that leaves you a little bit uncomfortable and take it every day for 3 days. Step 2. After every attempt, write down one sentence about what you did and what you learned. Step 3. On the 3rd day, celebrate one progress and set the new goal for the next loop. Step 4. Post the try to a friend or in the comments section to raise accountability and encourage perspective. There are also practical skills to learn. Practice speaking slowly. Practice asking clarifying questions. Practice saying no with a brief, honest explanation. Exercise your body by moving each day. Easy physical practices alter physiology, and with it your sense of possibility. Practice reframing failure by asking what is useful here. The question transforms shame into instruction and maintains curiosity alive. Balance is the secret that is not in your face. When you are serious about the work and have your heart free, you minimize the emotional expense of failure. Seriousness without play turns into being punitive. Play without seriousness becomes ridiculous. Plan both. Deep reading and absurd game. Hard work and eruptive laughter. A curious question and focused attention. The combination keeps confidence flexible, not brittle. Take a brief stoic pause when anxiety spikes. Take 30 seconds and ask yourself 2 questions. What can I control in this moment? And what would a courageous, compassionate version of myself do here? Those questions function like a compass directing focus back to tangible actions. Tiny, clear actions propel you forward, even when emotions pull backward. This is not an attempt at a one-shot cure. Confidence is a practice of consistently showing up and being authentic about what you feel and what you are willing to experiment with. Begin with a micro-challenge this week. Experiment with a tiny action that pushes you beyond a typical boundary. For 3 days, observe what shifts, then comment below. Share with us what you did, what you were surprised about, and what questions you have. Your tale will benefit others. I will read and respond to comments, and we will build this practice together.